Well, everybody, we're back with Chainsaw Man a week later, Lamau. I know it was a week later. I don't even have to guess this time because we're doing it early or something. This is probably the earliest you're ever going to see a Chainsaw Man chapter review. Unless I procrastinate and don't upload it till the normal time. But we are back with chapter 136, Normal Life by Tatsumi Fujimoto. EliteAri.
Yes, firstly, Tutsuki Fujimoto, all right?
Tatsuki.
And we're getting so close to the end of the Attack on Titan numbers here. I can't wait until we get to 139. That'll be a big day.
You know, remember when I thought it was going to be like 135 because then all the numbers added up to 9?
Yeah, that was crazy. I remember that video. I thought you were memeing, but I don't think you were, so I
Not
don't
at
know.
all. Now, enough talking about a good series. Here we are to talk about shit Chainsaw Man. And Isa wasn't even in it this time, so I'm not sure what I'm going to blame it on. She was mentioned at one point. We always fuck up at the
What do you
beginning of these
think?
things. I don't know. We'll talk about it as we progress. I read this like an hour ago, so there has been no gestation. There hasn't even been any comments on it in the spoilers Chainsaw Man thingy in our Discord, so I don't know who I'm supposed to overcorrect for with my opinions. I assume Miller liked it, and I assume Minty hated it. And you agree with Miller because you're a cuck, and I agree with Minty because I'm just the genius, so I hated it.
All right. I thought it was fun. I enjoy reading these. I think I do have the least notes for any chapter that we've ever read so far.
Yes.
It feels pretty straightforward. Yeah.
Weren't we shocked at how much time we got out of the last one? Hold on, I'm tabbing over.
Yeah.
Secondary ENT. This one, if we make it to 30 minutes, it'll be a miracle, I think.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
No
What did I just
calendars
see on
in
my
this one.
homepage? 9 months ago. Okay, never mind. I know. I saw a song that I didn't know existed at EliteAri. I got distracted for a second. 11149. That's how many is in the little time code here. That's 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 48 seconds, EliteAri. You know that?
It's crazy.
Only
Yeah.
130. 0 comments, 130. We fell off EliteAri. 113 views. That's pathetic.
That's better. That's like more people than can fit in a room.
Depends how big the room is. Anywho.
Yep.
We open on Denji. He's depressed still. I think that's still going on. Just like that other shit show EliteAri makes me watch. How boring. He's that was a Mushoku Tensei reference for everybody in chat. Also, I'm nasally, EliteAri. You hear that?
I haven't noticed. No.
There's no way he didn't notice.
But now that you say it, I mean,
but before
maybe
before chat makes fun of me, I have to say something about it. So that's what I just did.
Right.
And I was nasally on stream last night. Everybody better be watching the streams every 2 weeks when I do one, right, EliteAri? They can't miss events.
Yep, absolutely. He watched a debate about Griffith and Femto and stuff.
We're really done shouting out Ciclet and his shitty debate, all right? We've done it in every video the last fucking month. We ain't doing it again. Anyway, Denji's depressed. He's outside of school. It's titled Normal Life. Normal Life sucks. We've gone over this a bunch of times. When will we talk about happiness? We'll get there. Oh, we'll get there. That was ominous and foreshadowing and stuff. So he's all depressed. Everybody around him's having fun or something. He's got shoes and he's heading to a locker, EliteAri. Does this remind you of that Isa moment?
No, I don't even know what you're talking
Where her
about.
shoes got meated and then Yuko had to give her
yeah,
her
I remember
shoe?
that. Yeah, true. No, it didn't remind me of it at all. Even now when you're saying it, I'm like, no, I don't see any resemblance here.
I thought about it immediately. Then there's a whole white page. What's that for?
Yeah, that's happened. It doesn't happen on the official Shonen Jump where I read it, all right? But on some websites, that does happen for some reason.
Shonen Jump sucks. I love
it.
manga.
Does, yeah.
Hey, is that a Chainsaw Man shirt? Question mark. Says this four-eyed fucking loser over here. Who are you?
Yep.
Denji says. You should know that, like, among the well-informed, there's this theory that Chainsaw Man is stealing all the credit for Isa Mitaka's accomplishments. She's a student at our school. Huh? Assuming it's true, do you still plan on wearing Chainsaw Man clothes? Because in a sense, you'd be supporting a victimizer. What? Anything to say
Isn't
about
that great? That's just hilarious. I love this. It's so funny.
EliteAri, maybe I was in a bad
I don't know
mood.
what level, but
I was like,
yeah.
this fucking thing. And then I was remembering, yeah, that happened last time. ISIS taken a thing. But it felt like a stupid gag. But now we're running with it, which is the Chainsaw Man thing to do. But why didn't I like it as much here, EliteAri? It sounds like you liked it.
I just think it's so funny. Well, I mean, obviously, is it? I guess it's obvious that it's like commenting on to modern society, right? Like in our world with social media and everyone taking a side on a specific issue. And it's so funny for him to just react to that on like seeing such a subtle thing as wearing a Chainsaw Man shirt, I guess. And the irony is that he is Chainsaw Man, so
I
it kind of works
was
on that level. I just think it's really funny.
Yeah, I was thinking about modernity like this when I was like, I said modernity on stream last night. You remember that? And then I said it again now. It's my favorite word at the moment,
It's
Leori, if you
crazy.
notice. My vocabulary is ever expanding.
It's like the
Every
vaccine
time,
company,
you know, no, that's Moderna, you fucking idiot. Leori doesn't know what he's talking
right?
about and doesn't listen to me. Sometimes you're reading a Game of Thrones chapter and at least once a page you got to look up some weird
Oh
fucking
yeah.
word like dirge. What
Mm.
was dirge again? I think it's a song because there's a Pokemon called Skeledirge and he's got a microphone that he sings into. A Lament of the Dead. So it's like a song for the dead. I had to learn that in this answer
Right.
chapter. Incredible stuff. Now, where was I going with this? I was saying modernity, and that was pointing out my increased vocabulary because you increase your
Hmm.
vocabulary by reading, but not by reading Chainsaw Man because Chainsaw Man uses silly words. Now, to bring all this back, I was thinking about modernity in regard to this moment because it is like if you're wearing a shirt of a bad person, you might get a finger waved in your face in contemporaneous society. That's another word for modernity,
Mm.
kinda. Kinda.
It's a
So
way
I
bigger
was
word.
thinking about that too. Now back to the ISA thing. I had something else to say about that, but I think I've forgotten it. Isa's accomplishment. She's at our school taking credit. Last
Well,
time
she's not even taking credit.
well,
Like she's legitimately beating these
but
things.
taking
Her
credit
reputation is
retroactively
being built.
for other
Yeah,
Chainsaw
sure.
Man
Yeah.
things. We're all forgetting about Chainsaw Man because the new shiny thing is in town, and she's a girl and she's cool.
Mm.
This is literally a commentary on you, EliteAri. You are this four-eyed
Yeah.
freak. You like Isa, and you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Um, fuck.
I
What?
know that is maybe you're joking, but I think that really is what this is trying to go for
Yeah,
here.
kinda. I think so. But yeah, it's definitely because we're bringing up the protagonist thing later in the chapter, and it's like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I get it, Lamau. I did think about that. But what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to give myself credit because last time I was like, oh, it's going to be interesting if Denji starts to hate Isa and resents her for stealing credit and stuff because he loves women and he loves credit. But what happens when a woman steals his credit? And that'll be
Mm.
interesting. And that seems to be furthered here. So maybe I do like this. I don't know.
Perfect.
And some bloke jumps in. I'm not doing that voice anymore because I can't remember exactly the cadence I was doing. He says, "Hey, you two. Did I just hear you dissing Chainsaw Man? Who are you?" You should be doing the other dude's voice, Leary. It would be funnier.
Oh
What's
boy.
with
All
you
right.
dudes? Denji's just out of it. In the name of Chainsaw Man, I'll punish you. It's funny because it's like a church thing, but he punches Chainsaw Man when he's saying it, and he misconstrued Denji as being a
Mm.
Chainsaw Man hater. Isn't that funny?
And it says power there in the text, like power. Remember power? Well, I guess we see power at the end of this chapter, don't we? We'll get to that. Let's keep going.
Oh my goodness. That's interesting. Okay. Quit teasing, Alita, you fucking loser. We do this a lot when we
Right.
do hard cutaways. No. Oh, this was another Mushoku Tensei thing. This shit episode did this too. They're literally copying each other and everything is the same and everything's fake and it's just only the things that I consume are real. And right now, whoever's controlling me, controlling society, because solipsism and you don't
The
exist,
Matrix,
Alita, so
right?
it's all for me. The Matrix, what a great word. Right now, they're fucking with me with weird cuts. I've noticed it in the last 2 days, and I'm going to keep my eye out of it. Next week could be something new. They're always fucking with me, EliteAri. But we got weird cuts.
Mm.
Is there another weird cut in this, or was I literally just projecting Mushoku Tensei onto this? We'll get to it when we get to it. But we cut to this prick who's like a counselor or something. Are you listening to me, Denji? You're lucky I'm not suspending you. Not the big suspension. You ever get suspended in school, EliteAri?
I know, but I got very close to it. Like I think the closest I got was spending like a day in the principal's like office, which was really awkward. I don't even remember why, but
There's
yeah.
no way you don't remember why. He just doesn't want to tell us.
No, I don't. Most likely it wasn't my fault. Is I probably like lied to protect like a friend or something. I don't know.
Oh my god,
I
somebody
doubt I did
cheated off
anything.
him and he got in trouble in a test. We know EliteAri's got a big brain
It's
or
very
whatever.
possible. Yeah.
How old were you when this happened?
I would. It was. It's like probably year 9 or 10 or something. It was a while
There's
ago.
no
I
way
don't
he doesn't
remember.
it. That was literally last week for me. I never got in trouble
No,
ever,
no, no.
EliteAri. I don't even think I ever even got detention.
That's crazy. Well
Yeah.
done, Kyle.
You wouldn't have you
I
wouldn't
wouldn't
have
have believed
thought
that.
these two personalities.
No.
This one's over here in the president's office or whatever he just said, and I'm never getting in
Yeah.
trouble. I don't like confrontation, EliteAri, as much as I love it around here,
Yeah.
man. I love to
Hey, in
confront you with
fairness,
everything.
I think I only got in trouble like once for that. You can count on one hand, I think, the number of times I got in trouble in high school, right? It's just
True.
the severity was so large, like I don't remember why. But it is what it is.
How do you not remember things? I remember everything.
That was like 10 years ago for me, all right? Jesus.
10
High
years
school was
ago.
so long ago.
If I'm 22 now, when I was
Actually, way
12,
more than 10 years ago. Yeah, like probably 12 years ago or something.
yeah,
Jesus.
because 10 years ago I was in high school. Kinda. No
Dang.
shot. No. Like 9 years ago. Who cares about this shit? Denji nearly got
Yeah,
suspended.
come on.
In my experience, kids without parents get quick to start fights. He got profiled and then told off.
Yep.
Next time, it's a
What a
red
great,
card for
responsible
you. You
adult.
got it. Now, getting expelled and suspended are two different things. So a red card would be expulsion. So did they use the wrong word here?
I don't know how it works in Japan, Kyle, all right? They
Maybe
got their own
suspended
system
means the
there.
same thing. Maybe in America too. You know, their schooling system's all fucked up too. Maybe suspension
Yeah.
means expulsion. No, in The Sopranos, we're definitely getting suspended and expelled, and they mean the correct things. This is a Japanese issue. We hate the
Yes.
Japanese, right, EliteAri?
We love the Japanese.
Yes, of course. Now Denji's more depressed. He doesn't even care. He's getting threatened with getting kicked out of school, something he supposedly loves, but he's all depressed, so he doesn't even react to it at all. He's starting to realize a normal life isn't what he wants, and he just wants to be Chainsaw Man, EliteAri. You notice that?
Yep.
He just notices everything. I hear you put the other guy in the hospital. And then, so is Yoshida was he hiding in the back here, or is this another weird cut?
I assumed he was just out the doorway or something, just waiting.
Yeah, now
He's probably spying on Denji at all times, right? He's not actually a student. He even talks about it.
Yeah.
He's like, your students like, oh, so we're not students. I
Yes.
just stalk you everywhere.
something like that. Which means if he's always planned to be at certain spaces, remember the first time we saw him in Chainsaw Man Part 2 when he was just perving on Isa and she was talking to herself?
Mm.
We haven't ever seen him in a classroom, so that means he's onto her. He's been onto her since the beginning. That's going to be plot relevant. Fuck, there was something else to say about getting profiled or a red card or Denji being depressed or something.
Did you? Okay, how about this? When you saw the speech bubble of saying, I hear you put the other guy in the hospital, did you think that was the teacher guy?
Yeah,
Or did you think that was
obviously.
Yoshida?
Yeah, I think
Alright, good.
I think that's another thing where we cut away from it. We didn't see him beat him up, so that was funny. But yeah, then Denji says he lost one tooth. Well, I guess even ordinary high schoolers get into fights. Not that I'd really know either. And then Denji's just looking away. I think skipping school to hang out would make us make us ordinary high schoolers? Question mark. So yeah, Yoshida doesn't know what high school's like either. He's a big fucking idiot. But also,
Did you ever skip school, Kyle?
no, never. How do you even do
wow.
it? How do you even get away with it? Don't they just like call your parents
Yeah, I
immediately
don't
and then
know.
you get in trouble? There's
Yeah,
no way skipping
probably.
school is real. People used to wag like parades and stuff because they used to go for like 15 minutes. So if you just hid in the toilets or something, you could get away with it. And they're not really doing a roll call. But then they started to catch on to kids doing that. So they did do a roll call at the beginning of parades. Crazy.
What is a parade? What does that mean?
Huh?
Like
Where you all go
for
to a
school,
meeting, an
parade?
assembly? A parade? They're the same
Oh, an
thing?
assembly. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know it was the same thing. Okay.
Year parade
Sorry.
is a year assembly. I guess it doesn't really make sense to call it a parade, but that's what everybody always calls
Yeah, what are
it
you
in
like
both
celebrating?
schools.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
Shut up, I was saying something interesting. Oh yeah, he's checking him now. He's checking in on his behavior so that he's not lashing out. So he's like, oh, I guess a high schooler would get in a fight so I don't have to kill your wife and children. The dog's the wife, right?
Yes.
But then they go to a theater. Remember this from Chainsaw Man previous?
Yeah. When I first saw this, though, I was like, "Oh my god, is that a Goodbye Area reference?" But for a second, that's what
I
I
don't know
thought
what that is.
immediately.
It is interesting. There is another cut here where there's a dead devil, and immediately you're like, oh, they must have killed the devil or something. But they don't address it till later, and it's just there, and we don't see the action. I guess maybe this is a clever like replicating depression thingy where we're cutting away from sort of exciting bits to keep the mood depressing and stuff. That's cute. I like that. And we were doing cuts in this. It
Yeah.
wasn't just Mushoku Tensei. Uh, Even knowing we're cutting class, this isn't that fun, is it? Yoshida doesn't like movies. No talking during the movie. Everybody's evacuated. Who's going to complain? He doesn't understand that Denji has a principled stance on this issue and he's not just doing it for other people's convenience. What a fucking moron. I hate Yoshida. 32 minutes ago, a devil appeared in the theater. It was killed by the theater's devil hunters. Lamau theaters have devil hunters. Within a mere 2 minutes, all that's left is to remove the body. Even without Chainsaw Man, problems get solved. You aren't the protagonist of this movie. It's not like the world will end without you. Now, if we weren't having this fucking internal conflict about whether or not Isa or Denji was the main character, this would prove that Chainsaw Man sucks, this line here, because it's so... And they've done this before. They did it with Isa and the manga character thingy, and it's the only thing that tips me and Minty off, and we're like, is Tatsumi Fujimoto really just a hack fraud moron idiot that doesn't get that he's on layer 3? Because it's such an unfunny, like layer 1 meta joke. But I guess it gets a pass. Right, EliteAri?
Yeah, I think you get to spend this this cost, I don't know what you call it, every now and then. But if you do it too frequently, it'll be like, he shouldn't be doing it this frequently. I remember he also did it in part 1, like,
Yeah, he did.
at least once. I don't know, I think it's fine. I don't have a problem with it. We also debated this, I think, at some point. But maybe
sure
we agreed back then. Yeah, probably, yeah. It's fine. We don't have a problem with this, all right? It's kind of funny, and it also works in this chapter.
Because initially I was like, oh, no, he's doing it again, and it doesn't work again. But now that Isa thing and the protagonist thing you mentioned earlier, it all ties together. I guess we're doing okay here. Plus, I'm starting to like this chapter more because of this depression cut thing I've just figured out. Maybe this chapter isn't so bad. But also, Minty hasn't told me yet. He hasn't commented.
Do you think, is there any chance that Yoshida knows that Denji is a manga character because Yoshida comes from like a world or like some other like extra dimensional meta space or something where he knows that Chainsaw Man is a manga?
I think he's just a dipshit high schooler with a fucking octopus thing. You're on the fucking
Sure,
shit about a...
okay.
Well, I think he's Makima 2.0. We'll get into that.
But wouldn't that be cool, Kyle, if that were the case?
Yeah. You know, there's
All right,
because
cool.
I remember
That's
the
all I
big
want to
thing.
hear.
The big thing that cucks me from ever getting interested in your silly time travel thing is that there's no like moments where something weird happens that's like unexplained. Now that actually does happen a lot in Chainsaw Man, but there's no weird like time thing. Like there has to be a subtle setup, and because I've got such a big brain, I would shut up. It's not a cell phone. I would clue in, I think is what I'm trying to say, to any of these moments that have come to pass. Now, maybe they're just so well hidden that when it happens, EliteAri is going to be a genius and our modes are all going to be boned. But I was reading, because, I read Game of Thrones. I don't know if you've noticed this, EliteAri. We were talking about Sansa. Now we're going to talk about Arya. There's an Arya chapter where she hears a voice whisper in her ear, one of Sirio's lines, like strong as a, fast as a, quiet as a cattle, or some shit. And it gives her the motivation to flee the castle. And then obviously that's time-traveling Bran, EliteAri. He's whispering in her ear because she looks around and she's like, oh, everybody's dead here. Who could have said that in my ear just now? And Bran was whispering to her so he could create the timeline in which she doesn't get caught and kept in the Red Keep with Sansa or get killed or whatever, because she's got to escape so she can go be a faceless man so she can go and kill the others at the end. You see, that's a little hint thingy. And there's another one earlier in the book, and then there's a million with Theon I hear later, where Theon's hearing voices all the time, whispering to him, telling him to do shit, to invade Winterfell and shit. And Bran's probably set up the Red Wedding to kill his fucking family because he's doing so many sacrifices to save the world. Now, those are the little setup things, EliteAri, and they're so subtle sometimes you don't even notice them. But now that you're thinking about them, you're like, yes, he did just whisper in this fucking Arya girl's ear. When I read that at EliteAri, I was like, oh my god. I am going to break all the theories open when I point out this because I'd never heard that example before. I just figured it out all myself. Yoshida and I got nothing like this, EliteAri. Remember the one thing that we did think that was kind of like that was when fake Chainsaw Man jumped out and was like, Denji, you got to do this thing. Oh, it's like the shitty Mushoku Tensei thing, the coolest thing that ever happened in that show, where the fucking idiot knew that Paul was only supposed to have 2 kids or whatever.
Right.
And Thingy was there. Now that's some interesting time travel shit, some meta shit. He's from the outside world. He knows how this story unfolds. He's done it a million times. What a cool fella. Yoshida ain't that dude.
Unless he is. I don't know. He's had some ominous looks. He fought Quan Chi, seemingly out of nowhere. He was a bit suspicious there. He has a knowing look at Fami,
travel.
I don't know. That cell phone thing. You'll see. Can you imagine?
At
Kyle,
this
if they
point,
bring
I
that
kind
back?
of hope, yeah.
I do. We'll see. I don't know. I'm as time has gone on, I have thought less and less about him being Kishibe, let me say.
Yeah.
There's been no evidence lately of that. But I think time travel I'm still pretty sold on. Um, so I guess we'll see. So
How
yeah.
much meta
And
stuff has he
also,
really done
wait,
in Chainsaw Man?
he's wearing earrings, Kyle. Can you believe it? I've never noticed that before
Yeah, he's
until I
always
just
wearing
looked here.
earrings.
Okay,
See, you
fair
don't
enough.
even pay attention to Yoshida like me. Um, how much meta shit has Chainsaw Man done in that regard of having like a character appear outside the story? Because there is that. It's a tinge of meta when we're like, oh, Nazis don't exist. And obviously the audience knows to recognize that because we know what Nazis are, even though the people in the universe don't. And
Mm.
Makima knows from a different timeline or something because she can tell that things have been removed. That's a little meta, I guess. Because Fire Punch does have more stuff about this, and they're constantly talking about protagonists and positioning and authorial intent, etc., because Fire Punch is just so interesting and stuff.
Mm.
But Chainsaw Man really doesn't, huh? Now, Fujimoto does have that credit from Fire Punch that I can then insert into this and be like, well, he does have the potentiality to do it. But I don't think. Can you think of any
There's a lot
meta
of meta
examples?
symbolism and stuff, or like meta. There's no like direct plot relevant meta things I can think of. But there's things like the Hell Devil having his hand come from beside the border. That's a very meta
Yes,
thing, talking
that
about how he's
is.
the author. You've got the uh Chainsaw Man being like a superhero or whatever that people are cheering for, and that's kind of like I'd say that's a very meta
Yeah.
thing. Um,
See, they're all like. They don't
yeah, they're all
break
like not
anything.
direct, like
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I guess Fire Punch never really breaks itself with its meta because there's like a character that's like trying to make a movie out of the plot, and she's trying to decide who the protagonist should be, and it's just so clever, EliteAri, you wouldn't understand. Um,
Mm.
oh, I was gonna bring up an example of something that does break itself with its meta, and that's kind of the interesting part, but I completely forgot which example I had. Um,
Nice.
So
Wait, in
now,
Chainsaw Man?
oh, we used to talk about Attack on Titan meta in that regard, where like Armin would out loud say, "I don't know why you're so popular, Annie. You don't do nothing," and it's sort of like oh, I guess you could say that in universe, and it kind of makes sense, but it kind of doesn't.
Mm.
But you can kind of justify it so it doesn't break everything, and the cheering thing like that, and all these protagonist talk is like that. It's like in real life, people do talk about being protagonists and stuff, and it would be a funny little irony if our world was actually just a story world. We would be doing a moment like that just right now, EliteAri. We don't know we're characters in somebody's story, and we're talking about being protagonists, etc., etc. And right now, the audience is
Mm.
grinning, and this is the most advanced level of meta they've ever seen in their lives, and they're so embarrassed and enthralled. Uh, See, it's possible, so it's not completely impossible. Therefore, it doesn't break the thingy.
Carl, you're a poet
I'm a
on a
meta
metatextual level.
I'm a meta warrior. What part was I up to reading?
Let me
Protagonist.
continue here.
That's it.
30 something.
Yes, yes. And then they're looking at each other. Denji doesn't know what a protagonist is, Yoshida, you dumb fuck. Oh, looks like
Mm.
she made it here before the corpse collectors. She's looking over. And then Denji does another, huh? A girl in my class. Lamau, she's not a girl from school, obviously, because she's weird and stuff. We'll get into that in a second. Because Yoshida doesn't go to school, wants to have a date with you. It's obviously a devil hunter girl that works underneath Yoshida. So this is sexual harassment, and Yoshida is a rapist.
All right.
I set you two up, and then Denji's looking over. Bye bye, knock her socks off. And then we very particularly never see a close up of this girl until a reveal later.
Mm.
But then, is this what it's like to be normal? And Denji's obviously not happy about this, but Yoshida says, yeah, it is. And he is happy about this, or trying to put a cheery face on, and then we get this solo shot of Denji all depressed and stuff.
Mm.
Then we get a creak because she's sitting down. So pause me if you want to say anything about this nonsense, EliteAri.
Well, we should mention the callback to the Makima stuff, of course, with all these chairs and cinema stuff. That
Yeah,
one
didn't I
chapter
already
in
say
part
that?
one. Yes, yes. I don't
Yeah,
know,
they
maybe.
cried the one bad moment in part one when we had a Reddit moment in real time. Also, that shit
Yeah, that
anime
was so
intro
cool.
is all I think about. It's poisoned my brain. I should have never watched it. Now Denji goes on
Yep.
his fucking his monologue here. Sorry, like I'm super down in the dumps right now. I'm an amazing person, but I doubt I'm gonna be all that charming today. Still, we don't see her. There's all this stuff I can't do now, and I don't know what to do with myself. What am I even getting at? I guess I just want to be alone right now. So like Oh my god, I'm singing
Oh,
the Berserk song from the movie. Remember when Griffith's transforming?
oh yeah, true.
I was doing it for a
Yeah,
second. I didn't even realize
I've
what I was
watched that
doing.
quite a bit.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
best scene in the whole movie. Why do people always dot dot dot?
Well, I mean,
Oh,
it's
what's
in that
better?
movie, sure. Okay,
Oh, what's
it's not
better in
better
any
than
of the
the Charlotte
movies?
sex scene. Like that's
Oh
like the
yes,
best
we
scene
love
of all time
Charlotte's
in anything
scene.
ever.
Yes, true. But
Yeah.
no, the transformation is better. She's touching his wiener, EliteAri. I hate that word. I can't believe you made me say it out loud, and I can't believe I'm going to say it out loud again in a second. Then he does
Mm.
more Griffith chanting. We see her face. She's laughing. Oh, from the back, she has a little thingy in the side that looks like Fammy. Did you notice that?
Yeah, when I first saw her silhouette, like when she's like in the distance of the seat, I'm like, oh, she kind of looks like Fammy.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
yeah.
I actually didn't. I was the only one that had that observation. And then Denji yells again with another Denji funny face. She's touching my. What's that word again, EliteAri?
Wiener?
Yeah, that's the word. I don't like that word. It's gross.
Okay.
Now, I did laugh when I saw both pages, but I kind of hated myself for laughing. I think it's just because I don't like that word. I wonder what Minty definitely hates this. There's obviously, we're doing this again where it's an obvious girl that doesn't care about Denji that he's going to get fooled by, like that shit Reese stuff. Uh, it's interesting.
Interesting. Okay.
Because you think it's power somehow. I have no idea why.
Yeah, I guess now that well, when I'm reading it now, I guess I think the most obvious answer is that yeah, it's someone Yoshida's like hired or whatever to like a kind of Reese kind of assassin person, trying to make Denji happy with his ordinary life so he'll keep living it. But yeah, when I read this, I was like, oh, I guess it's power because firstly, it's a girl, all right. Secondly, um, she's like her identity is being hidden for a purpose, all right? It's another kind of reason, maybe, so it'll get revealed. Thirdly, she's touching Denji's wiener, which would be a very funny prank. Like in any other context, this is sexual assault. It's pretty terrible. But if this is power,
No,
I
it's
could
not.
imagine
Denji
her
loves it.
seeing this. I could no, he doesn't look like he loves it here, right?
He
But I could
absolutely
imagine her
does.
playing this kind of a prank on him, and it kind of also being a callback to when he touched her boobs in whatever episode 3 of the
Yes.
anime or whatever. So I think it could work in that regard. Like I could imagine next chapter opening with her like because here she looks really creepy. I could imagine her like breaking up like laughter or laughing or whatever, and it being revealed that it's power or something. I don't know, but that's like a stretch, right? I think it's still probably just someone that Yoshida hired.
Because the initial thing,
Did I
well,
convince you?
no. How this scene works, it's
All
funny.
right.
We never see her. She's always shot from the back, and Denji's doing his monologue. Now, obviously,
Mm.
you know Denji's like cocking himself here because he's, I don't know. There's something, fuck, this is hard to explain how this scene works. There's like, he's depressed. So his friend, Yoshida, let's first of all back up a little bit. Yoshida's smart. He knows that Denji's not enjoying his normal life here, and this is obviously going to lead to problems for his stuff, his
Yes.
plan later on. So he's like, Lamau, how do you make anybody happy? You just throw a random bitch at him, and he'll love her, and sex and stuff. And that's what makes people happy. It's the only thing.
Mm.
Especially Denji really wants a girlfriend. Now, Yoshida's a big fucking idiot. He doesn't know what love is. So maybe he hasn't figured out the Makima lesson that you gotta like Makima to touch her boobs and feel good. You remember that from part one.
Hmm.
So then, when we see her from like behind in silhouette, it's just like, oh no, this is not going well. I wasn't even really thinking that much that her identity was going to be a mystery, though kind of. But that's how I just said it didn't communicate how it actually feels. It's weird. But Denji's doing his depressive thing, and then obviously the big juxtaposition is he's ecstatic at the wiener touching. He's so now he is excited for this EliteAri. Were you joking when he said he wasn't?
No, I have taken it a complete opposite direction. I think his like the comparison between him saying wiener, which is a very like innocent kind of thing, with someone touching him where he doesn't want to be touched. I think it's a very uncomfortable like juxtaposition, which I
No,
think to me emphasizes that he's not happy about it, or that he's just he doesn't he should be happy about it, but he isn't. Is kind of what I'm taking about it.
no. I
I
think
don't know.
he's
Yeah.
like shocked because he knows he's like intentionally self-cucking, and then it's had the exact opposite result. Now, obviously, this should send off red flags
Mm.
that this is not a good idea, and that's he's being fucked with somehow, and whether or not he's smart enough to figure that out.
Mm.
But he's definitely like right now he's being pulled out of his depression by a silly thing that is not going to help him in the long run, but in the short run, he's having fun. Now, we're probably going to start next chapter, cut away to Denji outside, and he's probably would have left or something because he has to kiss Isa later, and that's lame.
Mm.
I feel like I've skipped point B. There was point A about not seeing her, then point C about Denji
What about when
leaving.
we do see her? Her
It's
face.
obviously it's a weird fucking face. Why is it so long? It's I don't know. It's not ugly, but like
It's
she's
creepy.
clearly an evil devil. Um, I have completely fucked up my train of ideas here.
Yes.
What was I saying?
Denji loves this.
Yes, well that's
And next
true.
chapter, he's not going to be here. He's going to be outside pondering
Having
his life.
rejected her is the important part. Um,
Perhaps.
fuck. What was I gonna say?
I don't know, Kyle.
I guess this is it's a jump to I don't know, EliteAri. Jump in. What did you think about this scene?
I have absolutely. Well, I just took it the complete opposite direction to you, which is really interesting. I guess to me, I guess a question for you is, where do you possibly get the idea that he likes it? Like, what
Because
is
look,
there like a facial
it's the
expression or
Denji
like?
face where he loves something uncontrollably. I feel like
Hmm.
I've seen this face 50 times. Whenever something, because the wiener stuff is like, it's funny that he's saying wiener, obviously, because it's a silly way to put it. And like, she's touching
Hmm.
my wiener sounds like a nerd in a movie whose
Yeah.
wiener's getting touched for the first time and he's freaking out, EliteAri. Um,
Hmm.
obviously, the reiteration of it twice is supposed to be like, oh my god, it's happening, Lamau. Now,
Sure,
I
I can
don't
see
think it's
that.
going to happen is also the point. So it's like, why is this happening? Sort of, but it's not. It's different. It's a different. Why is this happening to the red flag thing? Because I don't think in this moment he's like, oh no, I'm getting fucked over again. He's just caught up in the moment, Lamau. Fuck, there really is a way to
Hmm.
thread this all together, and I'm just missing one piece, Leary. But oh, there was something back to the part about you thinking that he didn't like it, and the I'm lost again, Leary.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Well,
Yes.
I don't know what to say to that.
So what do you think
It's
happens
interesting.
next? He punches her?
Uh, if it's not power, and it's just some like girl who Yoshida's hired, then I guess he'll run away and be uncomfortable and not really know what to think. Um, now the reason I don't know how this ties in because I was thinking about the modernity stuff you were talking about,
What a
and how
word.
at the beginning we're talking about people's stance on issues and stuff and being very polarizing. Um, this could be some particular commentary on like male sexual assault and stuff, right?
True. That
And
is what I was
how
thinking about with the t-shirt
yeah,
thing of like you're wearing a shirt of a band whose lead dude got me too'd, and now you're not allowed to wear that
yeah,
shirt anymore. That's like the thing to think about. I see. I don't think so. I think it's just
yeah.
like
Like I'm
a
not sure where it goes. Yeah.
everybody like there's no male even when they're there's like a South Park bit, and it's not actually the same and it's not that good of a parallel, but it kind of emphasizes the same point
Go ahead.
where Randy Marsh, Stan's dad, you know, EliteAri, gets really into cooking for an episode, and the subtext of it, and it's not very subtle, is that it's like sexual. Is like he's like making jerk off noises as he watches somebody sear a rib or something. And he says like "fuck yeah, sear that rib," like you would say if
Mm,
in a porn or whatever. And he gets really into cooking, and it's clearly like a sexual release thing. Now, there's a side story in this episode about his wife trying to lose weight or something, and obviously this clashes with him cooking everything and her trying to lose weight. See, Leary, South Park's so clever. Now, I think that
mm,
actually is subtextual. And there's like a new workout thing called a shake weight, and it's clearly like you jerk off this thing and it shakes and it looks like a weight, and then it like splooges on you.
mm,
There's a joke about the black one's bigger and the white one's a little small one, and she wants the small white one. It's a funny gag. And then these two things converge because Randy doesn't go to sleep for like 5 days because he's up cooking all night and he thinks he's going to be a chef and he's all uptight and everything. And then obviously these plot lines converge, and the wife gives the husband a hand job, and then he says, "Yeah, that shit was lame," and he just goes to sleep, and they never do cooking again, and that's the resolution of the episode. You see, Alita, the
mm,
resolution is when you're sad or you're obsessed with something like Denji is here, he just gets a hand job and he's completely happy the next day and over it completely. I
Hmm.
think that's what's happening here.
Oh boy.
I also don't think the
All
hand
right.
job is happening. So the point is, oh, I remember. The
Yeah.
point is that everybody likes this EliteAri. No male is going to be like, oh, she's touching my wiener. I'm being assaulted right now. That's impossible.
Sure.
And Denji's face proves that at the end.
Okay, I see. Okay. I see. I kind of that was a
You
somewhat
following?
interesting analogy to South Park. Yeah, I think I get it now. Um, I could see that happening. It would be interesting.
Men
It
only
is, I
want
guess
one
my
thing,
yeah,
EliteAri. That's the point. And that's to be
the
chainsaw
question,
man.
yeah.
Yay.
The question is if like what is the purpose of this in the grander story, I guess. Like
Oh,
we
that's another
understand
big
why the
thing.
girl is there for Yoshita's perspective. Yeah, go ahead.
Chainsaw Man Part 2 fucking sucks. Nothing has happened in this manga, EliteAri. We're 30 fucking chapters in, and nothing
So
has
much has
happened.
happened.
What a shitty
Yeah,
chapter where
so much has
nothing
happened.
happened, and we're just doing a whole thingy, and we still don't know what's happening. Nothing's happened. How is this possible, EliteAri? We talk about this
It is
every week, and
funny.
you disagree. But I was like, this was epitomized in this chapter. I was like, ugh. But shouldn't I love this? We're doing wiener touching. Isn't that all I ever wanted?
I think everything is leading up to things, you know? It all feels very interconnected. I think more has happened in part two than happened at part one at this point. I guess I say that every time you bring this up. Um, I think maybe the big thing was that I also don't my perspective is so skewed, Kyle, because I watched the anime, right? And the anime built up the Gun
Obviously.
Devil thing, so I was just that was like my big
So
through
does the
line for the
manga.
entire part of one. Yeah, but I don't know how weekly manga chapters do that, you know, versus like an anime.
True. The
Um,
problem is weekly
now
readings.
Yeah, so now I don't know for part two. Obviously, there's the Great King of Terror, there's the Death Devil stuff, Justice Devil. There's a bunch of plot threads, but um, I don't feel like anything has been built up as being like an overarching giant thing. But then again, the Gun Devil might not have been like it
It
just kind of ended
really
up being the
was.
case. So I don't know.
But even then,
So
we
I don't
had
know.
like
Yeah.
factions and characters, and they were interacting all the time. I don't know. I guess maybe it's the split thing where there's like the Isa story and the Denji story, and we're sort of doing like 2 chapters here, 1 chapter here. Um, I don't know.
I just disagree. I think there's a lot that's happened. Um, But however, when I think of part one, I guess maybe it's because of the way I read it again. I do think of very distinct arcs. When I think of
Yeah,
part two, I kind of think of it as one thing.
yeah.
Um, so I don't know.
It's probably just a
I wonder
weekly
like
thing,
what will be
bro.
our first if we will get a grand arc, like it'll be like 40 chapters or something. I wonder if we'll get something like that. I don't know. Maybe not.
Like,
I
yeah,
don't
I
care. I like it
guess
this way, right? It's great.
what happens? What's happening next? I still don't know, right? Is King supposed to be coming? Denji's doesn't like normal life, and he's gonna do something. Conflict with Yoshida, I guess. I don't know. It is. I guess so much of it is mysterious at this point that maybe it'll be revealed in a grand way and it'll all fit together and we'll be like, oh my goodness, how interesting and fun and interesting. I don't know.
I think it is absolutely, now that I think about it, the I wonder how far back this has gone. I don't know. Probably the destruction of society in a Devilman kind of way is probably what part two is going to be about. With this Great
Yeah.
King of Terror coming to destroy everything, and the fact that now society is being divided, I guess, over a particular issue. Um, I feel like that would be the grand thing. Whereas in part one, it was. I was gonna say probably the point of part one was to accept devils. It's probably the way what I probably took from it. Um,
No.
Whereas part two would be something more human related about like the human soul being more like devil like than devils or something. I don't know. Uh,
I feel
I
like,
don't know. Maybe my devil man is feeding into this. I don't know.
yes, it is, as it should feed into everything, but also it shouldn't. You're wrong. Nobody cares about devils, just like nobody cares about devils in Devilman.
Sure.
That's not true in Devilman. What was I saying? Oh, part one is about Denji getting rid of his dumb fucking mother, which is Makima, and trying to live his own life. But now he's got people controlling him again. So I don't know. Are we doing the same fucking shit again? Yoshida's just Makima this time, controlling his life, and he's gonna figure out how to get control back. Then how does Isa play into this? She's controlling something or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I guess I'm not. We've had this debate before, but I'm not convinced that Denji is still the main character. Like he has shown up quite a bit, but whenever I think of when I'm reading week to week, whenever I see a Denji chapter, I'm like, oh, it's a side story or whatever. Like I still think of Asa as the main character of this. So I'm not sure if it's going to be a conclusion in this arc for a conclusion in part two is going to be for Asa or if it'll be for Denji. Or if we be
I
both,
think
I
they'll
guess. I don't
both
know.
be the same fucking thing, and the resolution is for them to kiss.
Yeah, very possible. I guess my for as someone who was there, when the part one, part two break happened, do you have any idea why he split it into two parts?
I think
I don't think
everybody
we
thought
talked about
Chainsaw
this.
Man was done until at the end of the last chapter it said part one finished. I think everybody thought, like, because it was
Huh.
all wrapping
Okay.
up, so everybody thought Chainsaw Man was just going to be finished. Um, and there's kind of a thing
Interesting.
at
I
the
wonder
end
why
of
he took
like,
a break.
probably because he was like, I fucking hate manga. It sucks.
Yeah,
Uh,
maybe. Yeah.
I've been doing it for what 100 weeks in a row now. This shit's lame. Uh,
But then he
so
did like a
yeah,
million of those like Goodbye Ari and stuff,
he
right?
did
Oh,
two
maybe he
one
just wanted a
shots.
break from Chainsaw Man or something.
Yeah,
Two one shots? No, there's no way. Didn't he do more?
look back and goodbye Yuri. That's it, right? I think.
Oh my god, that's crazy. I thought there was more.
But yeah, that
Good for
happened.
him. They're like a volume each, right? Like that'd be like two volumes in a year or whatever. Not bad. And it's
Something
just some of the
like
best
that.
storytelling I've ever seen in anything in Goodbye Ari at least.
It was like a year and a half off, I think he took. But let's not get into semantics here. That's what numbers are, right? Semantics.
I don't know. That's like to do with consciousness and stuff.
No. Uh, we have gotten 40 minutes out of this fucking thing, EliteAri. You got any notes you want to bring up?
All right, let's see. Number one, supporting a victimizer. We already talked about that. The cultural divide.
Why do they say it
Um,
like that? Supporting I guess victimize is a weird
well,
word,
it's
huh?
to I've heard people say you're supporting a victimizer. I feel it's something I've heard before.
Supporting an
Uh,
abuser, a rapist,
I feel
misogynist.
like no. I feel like abuser and rapist are more modern terms. I feel like victimizer is like a bit of an older term.
Then
I
you
guess
use
is
it
what
in
I would
Mad
say. I
Men,
don't know.
and that's the
I
old
don't
thing.
watch that trash show. All right.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
ever since Netflix bought that show, I don't support it anymore.
I think it's off limits
Well, I
now.
guess even ordinary high schoolers get into fights. Oh yeah, that was just me thinking when he said that, ordinary high school, I was like, oh my god, is he a time traveler? Oh my god. We already talked about that a little bit. Uh, Power, we talked about that. I guess other options, it could be the Justice Devil that everything could be apparently, because we might not have seen it, or it might have been that guy we saw like 2 chapters ago that said he was Chainsaw Man.
What if
It of course could
Yoshida?
be the Death Devil. Oh yeah, go
What if
ahead. I want to
Yoshida
hear
got
this.
isekai'd and it's a big joke and he's from the real world, but he's not the main character and it's gonna be his tragic backstory and it's gonna be funny when we kill him because fuck him.
Kyle, that is ridiculous. There's no way. How would that be the case? What evidence
Because
is there for
he's
that?
from the real, like, real high schoolers and stuff, so he's not so familiar.
No, that's absurd, Kyle.
Oh, okay. I'm
I think
sorry.
he's just a time traveler from a future where he
Chainsaw
sees
Man
what
could make
happens
fun
when
of
Denji becomes
isekais.
Chainsaw Man.
That seems like a
No,
Chainsaw
I think
Man
it
thing.
is. It's a good point. It could be. That's what I think that ties in with the meta text kind of aspect of Yoshida being from a universe where Chainsaw Man is
Yeah,
a
you
comic.
see,
Oh my god.
the concept of isekaiing is one of those meta things that breaks it entirely and you can never get
Yeah.
over it.
So it's yeah.
Uh, that
Well,
was probably the example I was
that's not
reaching
true.
for earlier. Um,
We
but
love
continue.
isekais
You were
here.
saying something about the Justice Devil. I wasn't listening. I was just thinking,
Yeah,
man,
it could,
what
I'm
if he got
basically saying
isekai'd?
every new character we see is obviously the Justice Devil because that's like the big
The girl
overarching
could
thread
be
in
the
part
Justice Devil. I
two.
don't know why, but I'm like, yeah, she definitely is. Look at her hair. It's justice and stuff.
Yeah. Well, one we know that the Justice Devil is someone at their school. But yeah, Justice Devil, of course. It could
Ah,
also be the Death Devil that everyone is apparently the Death
it
Devil
is a
because we see them.
girl, and
And I
we
guess
need
it
a
would.
fourth
Yeah, it is a
sister.
girl. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's how, because she and Yoshida are fucking. That's how he knows about Fami. Oh my god, it's the Death Devil.
Yeah, could be.
And coming gives life, so it's also related to death somehow.
Oh my god. Sure. Yeah.
Look at
Well,
this death
wouldn't
bitch. That's why she's weird looking and
you'd have to
creepy.
have sex for there to be life? Otherwise, you're just killing all the sperm, right? And that's like a mass genocide.
That's
So it's like the
death,
opposite. It's like
EliteAri. She's
death.
gonna kill
Yeah.
them
Yeah. Perfect.
kids.
Perfect.
Oh my
There we go.
goodness. That would be the easiest
Or
way to
Kyle.
mass kill people if you consider sperm to be people, is to jerk a bunch of people
Well, that's
off.
like that's euthanasia, right? That's
This is
good old Zeke.
genius.
Yep.
She can be a porn star character and be the Death Devil. Oh, that's a Fujimoto thing to do.
Yeah, it could be. No, but oh yeah, I guess I was gonna say there's no sex, but there could be sex. I guess
Yes, we
he's
already
just holding
established
back.
we're
He's
getting
waiting for the
sex.
right moment.
We did it last
But yeah,
time.
Death Devil. The final option here, Kyle, which besides power, because of course it's power, is it could be the clone devil, the clone Chainsaw Man guy, whoever can turn into Chainsaw Man can also turn into a random girl and look like her.
And jerk Denji off. Now that's interesting.
Yeah. That would be really funny.
Oh my god, he's
And
gonna
that's it.
take
That's
the
all my
sperm
notes.
and then time travel, and that's how he became Chainsaw Man, because
Yep.
Chainsaw Man's genetic. Everything's got to do with coming, so it better happen next chapter, EliteAri. Except Ari's
That's
predicted that it's
interesting.
not happening.
I do wonder if we will get an arc in Chainsaw Man where Pochita is captured and we run experiments on him. You know? Wouldn't that be interesting? That's like my initial. I still remember my initial theory of like when I was watching the anime. Like they had a factory of Pochitas, and he was the one that got away. Basically,
Yeah.
maybe that'll happen. That'll be crazy.
Don't they say that like orgasms are like there's like a saying about it being a brief touch with death or something? I swear that's a thing.
I don't know. I've never heard that ever. How I get? Yeah, sure, whatever. Maybe.
It makes sense, right? I
How
feel
does
like
it make
there's a
sense?
saying. Well, when you come for a second, you lose consciousness for like a
Oh, I
brief moment.
guess. Sure.
So that's like the thing. Where did I hear that from, EliteAri? I feel like that's a saying. Orgasm.
Sounds like a
death
Game of
saying.
Thrones
Keep
thing.
saying. Yeah, that could be something in a sex position scene. Orgasm.
That's the typical
death
George coming up with these
saying.
things.
No, he doesn't do that. Only the show did that. La petite mort,
Right.
French pronunciation, the little death, is an expression that means a brief loss or weakening of consciousness. The modern usage refers specifically to the sensation of post-orgasm as likened to death. I'm fucking French, EliteAri. Did you know that? Oh my god, we
That's
just had a dumb
crazy.
French bitch. Oh my god, it's all coming together.
Wait, did we? What am I?
The Falling Devil was French, right?
Oh, okay. I feel like I've seen a French person. Oh no, because there's like riots in France or something, right? I don't know what's that.
Oh yeah, nobody cares about that. Also, one of the
that's
first
old news.
people ask thing on Google here is what is the little death in The Last Duel? You ever seen that movie, EliteAri? And that was like a shitty
No.
popular movie. Apparently that was about
I don't watch
orgasming
popular
too.
movies.
Yeah, you just watch just like cool movies, like fucking.
Except for
SpongeBob.
Oppenheimer coming on this weekend or something. Oh my god, I'm so excited.
I don't watch movies.
You don't
so
like
okay.
the nuclear bomb? You don't like Christopher Nolan? Oh my god.
I saw a thumbnail that said how Christopher Nolan created the nuclear bomb or something in Oppenheimer, and that gave me some indication that the movie was about nukes or something, but I have no idea what it's about.
Right. Well, I basically know that too. That's all I know about it. He had something to do with NASA or something. Not NASA, like he did the Manhattan Project. I don't know. I learned about this in high school, I'm sure.
The only shitty Christopher Nolan movies I've seen are the Batman ones. Oh, and I saw Inception. Right?
Really?
That's one of his ones.
Even the second one. Like the big famous Dark Knight one everyone loves.
Oh, well, when I said shitty, I was just being funny.
Oh, okay.
I was stressing
hard to tell,
that I'd
you know.
only seen them, you know. That Dark Knight movie is pretty good. The third one's better, you know, we like that one.
No, he makes great movies. Except for the ones that aren't great. Like Tenet. That's basically it.
Oh yeah, you like Destiny's Opinions, do you?
No, I don't like Destiny's Opinions. Does he not like Tenet though? Is that a
He
thing?
didn't like it. And he always makes fun of Christopher Nolan movies because it's just exposition the whole time, EliteAri, and that makes them bad.
Right, yeah, we hate exposition. That's why you read manga, alright?
I hate
They never give us
Chainsaw Man.
exposition.
What were you saying? Oh, we were speculating about her identity, and then we were talking about little deaths.
Yep. I have no idea. I guess we'll see. It's going to be interesting next chapter. You know what's going to happen? We're not going to get her an answer. It's going to be Asa again. But I'm going to love it. It's going to be better than this chapter.
Yeah, man.
Or we'll get a flashback chapter and it'll be like part 1.
Denji just
chapter
died.
1. I don't know.
We just saw it here. And
That would be really cool. That, Kyle, I would love that. No, maybe it's a bit too soon. I reckon you'd need a bit, maybe another chapter. Like if he gets like a heart attack and I don't know.
It's gonna be so great. The last chapter of this manga when Denji eats her too, and they all cry about it. It's gonna be perfect.
Or it's the other way around. That would be great.
No.
But then because she eats him, he like grows out of her neck like a tumor.
The thing he played, but I can't see it because our thing is in the front of it. Oh,
can the audience see it? That's awesome. Eh?
The audience would have seen it behind the image for a little bit. I
That's
have my
awesome.
alert box. Oh my goodness. I have no idea who just followed.
You should promote your stream right now. Go ahead.
I just did, and we already did it at the beginning. How do I even how do I even see most recent follows? Oh, followers. Can I click on this? No, you can't. Tab over here. Did you have anything else to say, EliteAri? Say it while I'm looking at this.
I
Create a
have nothing
dashboard.
else to say except we are chapter 136, which is minus plus chapter 39 of part 2, which is equivalent to chapter 39 of part 1, which is when the right after the anime ended, the next chapter.
Oh my god, so much had happened.
So we have officially part 2 has covered the same amount of content as the anime, which is like nothing
That's
in the
insane.
grand part of part 1.
I can't tell if my roaster, because I clicked on follower list. I don't know if Brain Dead 4554 would have been the person that followed because they're first on the list here. But no, it can't be because Young Dishwasher is like the 6th person from here. And he's like a totally new follower. I mean, a totally old follower.
I got no idea.
I'll never know.
Give him a
He
shout
just
out
followed.
anyway, right?
Oh my god, I can go into my whispers here, EliteAri. Remember when you
Oh
whispered me?
no.
EliteAri. Oh,
Yeah,
here it
read it out
is.
to everyone. Go ahead. Go
It
ahead.
was, hold on, let's click on this. Hold on, it opens up a little thing at the bottom. I can't expand it, so it's really small. It's EliteAri. Oh my god, I totally ignored you. Hey Kyle, what's the best way to support you? Twitch sub, Patreon, bits, etc. Or even better, he said even better, embarrassing. So then he sent
Yeah,
another message.
business.
Or even
Yeah.
better, do you have an Amazon wish list? Question mark star.
And then he never replied,
Yes. Who knew
and that was that.
what would come when he did that?
Yeah.
All that would
So then
follow.
I just subbed. I'm a subscriber on Twitch. That was my solution.
Embarrassing. Who would do that?
I guess that's all we got now, right?
I was yawning.
That's
Shut
Chainsaw
up.
Man.
Yes, I think so. We made it to 52 minutes. Incredible. EliteAri, how much longer do we have to wait for the next one?
7 days.
Oh my god, he's on a roll. Can you believe this?
Yeah, it is. What a guy. He's the next Izuyama.
Izuyama? Who's that?
Hajime Izuyama, the guy who wrote Attack on Titan.
He said it kind of funny, chat. You heard it too. What do we do at the end of these fucking things? We'll be back in a week. Fuck you. Mushoku Tensei will be on EliteAri's channel at some point, I think. Vinland Saga, who knows what's going on there. Movie night. I've had an outstanding movie night to do for about 2 months now. Will I ever do it? You'll never know. Well, you will, if it ever gets uploaded. I thought about doing a compilation one where I just watch like 10 movies and talk about them, like Red Letter Media does sometimes. I don't know. Fuck movie night, and fuck you. Support links in the description below. Thanks.